one of the strongest Union Arena decks, Code Geass Green, just got some new updates in the set. Let's talk about these changes. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mobby here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this green Union Arena Code Geass deck that revolves around Suzaku and his Lancelt Knightmare Frame. Alright, so just letting you guys know, this is going to be my personal take. It's alright if you disagree. Just let me know what you would add or what you would remove. Now, the whole game plan here is throwing out your Suzakus and ramping up as much as possible towards these 6 cost and these 8 cost Lancelots, Air Cavalries, which is super crazy strong and is 100% a removable target for your opponent. Alright, so this will just going to be a video breakdown if you just want the deck profile. My website here, Mobby TCG, has this and all the other decks that we cover in text and image format. Let's talk about every single card. These are the AP cards that I'm using. Alright. So the first card we have here is Suzaku Kururugi, which is going to be your raid source. Remember, there are 8 raid cards, so this one has to be on the board as much as possible. Keep this one alive. This one has 0 cost, 1 action, no effect. However, the trigger of adding it to your hand is great, and your basic 1500 BP. Nothing special here except a really nice raid card. Alright, now talking about the new cards, you can see on the bottom left here, this is CGH-1, meaning from set 1. This is CGH set 2, so this is the new card that we're adding in here to make the deck a lot more consistent. So basically, once again, the whole game plan is your late game nightmare frames. So that means you want to make sure you have the perfect hand for it. This one really helps with that, just more consistency. So this is Anya Alstrime. This is Holy Britannian Empire, Knights of the Round. These sort of archetypes don't really matter for this particular deck. So her 0 cost, 1 action on play, draw 1 and trash 1. As I mentioned, more consistency, being able to get rid of stuff you don't need, and sifting is super important for getting out the Suzakus that you need, and of course the Nightmare Frames that you need. The trigger here is draw 1 card and another 1500. So even though it's a really great support card, it's really weak, but you're just working towards ramping up and getting late game. Now, for a card that we've kind of lowered down a little bit in the form of more Anyas, this is 2 more of our 0 costs, making 10 total 0 costs in our deck. It says 0 cost Euphemia Britannia. So activate main switch to Suresti once per turn. His character will gain 1 more energy. Then at the end of your main phase, going into your attack phase, you will be sidelining this character. So really weak. This one literally only has the best thing of being in the back line. But there is a small, really niche scenario where on the front line blocking with this can activate an effect. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But primarily, backline, try to get to 6 or 8 costs and raid on your freaking Suzakus. That's what it's here for. Alright, moving over to your 1 cost. Here's another Euphemia. This one is from set 1 as well. I'll let you know if any, we have 1 more card from set 2. I'll come out and I'll let you know which one it is. So this is 1 cost, 1 action Euphemia. So if on the front line, characters on your field other than this particular character, so if you have this card, it still acts as this. So your opponent cannot hit anything but this named card. Cannot be chosen by abilities on event cards your opponent uses from their hand. So this is on your turn and the opponent's turn. However, if they're using it from their hand, it's going to be on their turn primarily. So if they have a special card or something that bounces back, and they won't be able to use it on your Suzakus or your more important raid cards. They have to focus and destroy this one first. So this is an extremely powerful portion of your game plan. You definitely want these to protect your big pieces. Super good. Then you get to draw 1 card. And just like this this Euphemia, there's a reason if this thing gets KO on the field, which, you know, is another niche scenario that works out. So really straight, powerful card. Absolutely 4 of these in the deck. Alright, now we have Cecile Krumi. This one is your basic, just 2+ energy, costs 2, 1 action, when active, plus 2 energy. So this is your only 2 costs. That's fairly, very easy to play. Pretty much just going to be in the back line. 2500 damage is actually not too bad though if you want to move this up later and you have even more 2+ cost energies that you want to play in the back line. Otherwise, the turn you play it, it's going to be rested. It will provide you with 1 energy. Alright, time for the other new card that we're adding to the deck that makes it a lot more stronger. So this is Euphemia Li Britannia from CGH Set 2. Cost 2, 1 action. If you have 4 cards on your energy line, this character gains 1 energy. So even if this comes in rested or comes in active for whatever reason, it will have 1 until this is the 4th card, or you know, this is on the field already. But basically it's just fine. This one will definitely give you an energy later, while this one is a maybe if you can fill up the board. However, the secondary ability is what we want to play this for. When played, draw a card and trash one. So literally just like the Anya, it's to really fix up this particular play style, which is get the cards that you need ASAP, raid and destroy. Sifting, crazy powerful in Union Arena, and that's why we're running a couple leaves in here. Now for a 3 cost. Our other Suzaku Kururugi, 3 cost, 1 action. When this is played, you get to simply draw a card. Really nice. Then the color here is, what's color trigger is, play 1 green character, 2 or less, 1 AP, set to active on your field. So this is usually great because you can just grab a character on the front line to be another blocker, or if it has step, you can move it to the back line. Really powerful. But as I mentioned before, Euphemia's on the front line have another ability which activates another Suzaku, which we'll talk about in a bit. But it's just way more powerful in this deck than most green decks. 2,000 power and 2 energy, so this one is most likely just going to stay in the back line because 2 energy is really powerful. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's already 8 Suzakus that we've seen already. Next is Jeremiah Gottwald, 3 cost, 1 action. So this character has step, meaning if it's on the front line during a step phase, you can move it to the back, so you can get more energy in the back line. This also has double block. 3,000 is not the strongest, but because it has all these abilities, it kind of makes sense. So it's another great card. Just leave in the back line, put it on the front line if you want to attack a little early, and maybe your opponent's rushing you with little tiny 1,500, 2,000s, 2,500s. You got your double blocker right here. Really strong card, especially with that step. You can throw it out in the front. Then when you got your hand setups, thanks to your support cards, move Jeremiah to the back and start raiding. All right, next is going to be Liv. This is your 4 final cards of the deck. 3 cost, 1 action. Choose 2 APs and switch ships to active. Give you one more action to play for that turn. Then if this is your final trigger, when this is your final life, when it triggers, you get to heal 1. Out of all the duels we've played, I've only had that happen maybe 5 times total, having a final at the end. Okay, time for your other Suzaku Kururugi. This one costs 4. So this one has step as well, which, you know, we move to the energy line later with 2 energy. That's really good. Okay, so here's the ability I was talking about with the Euphemias. When a Euphemia on your field is sidelined, you may move this character to your front line. Now it says when it's sidelined, that means it could potentially be in the back line when it's sidelined, but that's really, really extremely rare and never gonna happen. If it's in the front line, if your opponent KOs it with an ability or you block into it, this guy's in the back line, move him up. You could have another pinch blocker or an attacker for 3,500 later if you need to. And after you use him to block or attack, you can go ahead and use your step, you know, at a future turn to get rid of it. So super insanely versatile, great card. You know, that's why it costs 4. It's really good. The trigger here is active. One of your characters, give it 3,000. So super good support card. Amazingly good. So after this, we have 12 Suzakus to raid on. All right. Time for another Euphemia. This one is a 4 cost with 2 action points. By the way, keep that in mind, 2 action points. So this character also has step. If you somehow need to bring them in the front line for a little bit of maybe your opponent doesn't have much, so you can get a free attack in or something like that. But basically, the trigger here is draw 2 for 2,000. But you can see the kicker here is it has 3 energy. So you have 1 or 2 of these in the back. You're set almost for the whole game in terms of energy, because you're just gonna need like 1 or 2 more, like 1 more character that provides you 2 energy. Then you're gonna have all the 8 that you need. So really powerful cards, so good, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next off, it's your 4 specials of the deck. This is Varus. This one costs 4, 1 action point. So choose 1 character, 3,000 BP on your opponent's front line and KO it. However, if you have a Suzaku on the front or back line, or a card with Lancelot as well, it's going to be a 5,000 instead. The special trigger here is choose 1 character and KO it on the front line. No restrictions there. Super crazy decent, basic. All right, let's talk about your ultimate win conditions. And I just want to say beforehand, this deck is super strong. However, it has always been really weak in terms of search. You have literally no searching cards to find Suzaku. You have no searching cards to find your late game Nightmare Frames. The deck that I ran before this ran 2 of the maintenance cards, which searched up for Nightmare Frames only, but never Suzaku. But at least with this new one, you have your new support cards to help you sift and, you know, pretty much get what you want. All right, so 6 cost Lancelot. 1 action as well. This one has 2 damage. Now keep in mind this is above the raid box, meaning if you play this straight out for 6, it'll just be 2 damage. Albeit it comes in rested, but the following turn, it'll be 2 damage straight out. However, if you are able to raid, you also get these abilities. When played, this character gains 1000 BP till the start of your next turn. So when you raid with it, 5000 for attacking, boom, and your turn, it comes up, 5000 for blocking, and then it goes away. When this character is sidelined, either being blocked or attacked, right? Return the bottom card of this raided character to your hand, which means any one of your Suzakus. So usually you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to raid on these really good Suzakus. If this gets KO'd, bring this back to your hand. Then you can put it on the field again for different various reasons. And that's what this Lancelot's all about. But your amazing, crazy late game one that's going to win you the game. Hopefully you find 2 at least throughout the whole game. Lancelot, Air Cavalry, Holy Britannian Empire Nightmare Frame, KMF. Character, 2 damage, same thing as this. Even if you don't raid with it, you get the 2000. You get the 2 damage, but also it's a 5000 regular. So yeah, it's pretty good. So if you do raid, this character will obtain impact as well. So they, when you attack, either they block with taking 1 hit, losing a character, or 2 damage. Then when played, choose 1 character, 5000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. Removal in this game is so crazy strong, and this one just really helps you do that. And I didn't mention it, but the trigger here is raid. So you get to go ahead if you have 6 on the board, raid onto Suzaku. Same thing here if you have 8. Raid on a Suzaku, really nice. So you want to make sure that you always have 6 to 8 energy because you really don't want to waste. I mean, if you can get some free raid actions, then I would recommend you do that. It's really good. All right, so that is the deck, and this is super strong, guys. This deck has been pretty meta, and been seen throughout a lot of Union Arena's history, at least in Western formats so far. And with these new cards in Code Geass Set 2, it just helps you be a little bit more consistent with getting exactly what you need. And because you just draw a random card and then you sideline what you need, it will help you with not only Suzaku, but of course the Nightmare Frame, mixing and matching and making sure you get exactly what you need. So really nice and fun deck. I recommend this one if you guys are new to Union Arena. This one is really easy to pilot. Just grab your really, really nice high cost energy, put them in the back line, and just hope you get these Suzakus. So thanks you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. My dog's go ahead, bark again. No, Shaggy? I think someone's giving us a package or something. Anyways, like and subscribe for more daily videos. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.